Are you hungry?
Give me something good.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Görgött. Today we're making savory waffles. I'm a big waffle fan, and I don't know where I saw this recipe. It was somewhere online, and I thought I have to do that. It's a bit different than what they showed there. I'm using ingredients from here, so I can make it one-to-one, and I'm changing a little bit to make it nicer in my mind. And just to start with, this recipe will make about 2 good portions, so you can multiply as you want. And it's basically a savory waffle with cheese in it. And on top of that, we're putting some onions, apples, and sausage meat. And it's going to be fantastic. And we're flambeing it in cognac. Flambéed in cognac is always good. But before we have a look at the ingredients here, as always, if you're not doing so yet, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, check the bell icon to get notifications. Now, let's have a look. So let's have a look at the waffle ingredients first. It's in deciliters, not in grams, so in volume measurements and not in weight. 2 deciliters of white flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder. We have 2.5 deciliters of milk, about 50 grams of a nice strong cheese. This is a Gruyère. We need 1 egg and 50 grams of butter. Now I'm using salted butter. If you're not using salted butter, add a bit of salt to your flour and baking powder. So we'll get started with that quickly because that needs to stand a little bit for the baking powder to have time to work its magic. And then for the topping, we have our sausages. These are pork sausages. I think they're the nicest. It needs to have quite a high fat content. We have some onions, and we have a bit of apple. And to go with that, some apple cider vinegar, and as I said earlier, some cognac to flambe. We also need salt and pepper, and some parsley to decorate afterwards. But let's get going on the waffle batter first. First things first, put your butter in a pot. We just need to melt it. And now we put our milk in a bigger bowl. Add our egg. Whisk this together. And now we can add our flour and baking powder. Trying to keep most of the flour in the bowl. Make sure that you don't have any lumps in it. Now our cheese, just grate it in. I would say we don't need a full 50 grams. That's a good 30 grams. I don't know if you can hear, but that's our butter melted as well. So carefully mix in your cheese, at least at the beginning. And now we can also mix in our butter. And now we have everything mixed and the batter is done. We just put this to the side now to give the baking powder a bit time to start working. So put that to the side and then we'll do the prep for the topping. Now we'll start with the sausages, and all we need to do is to press out the meat in kind of this size. And just put that in a bowl. So do that for all of your sausages. And this is a local sausage from Zurich. It's called a Vinegar, but it's basically a pork sausage with some herbs in it. But I mean, you can use a breakfast sausage, you can use a nice salsiccia maybe, whatever you like. And that's the last piece. So we have our sausages. Now let's move over to the onions and the apples that we need to cut. Clean your board. So we'll start with the onions. Just put them in half and then we slice them about 4 millimeters, something like that. And then do that for all of your onions. That's the onions. Now the apple. Just cut it. And then slice the apple in similar thickness. And 1 apple is enough for 2 portions. So 2 onions, 1 apple. So, there. Put that away. Now, I'm not going to show you how I chop the parsley, because it's just going to be decoration. But once you've done that, it's time to move over to the stove and we'll make the topping. So a good chunk of butter. Our butter is hot, or our pan is hot. We put in the onion. You don't want it too hot now because we want our onions to almost caramelize a bit by themselves. I would say medium to medium high. And this will probably take about 15-20 minutes. So I'll see in a bit. This is about the color we want. So try to put them to one side. Add a bit more butter. And your apples. I just want to give the apples a little bit of color, soften them up a bit. Now you can mix it all together. And just touch the apple to see if they're turning soft. They're not there yet, but they're slowly getting there. And I hope the fan noise in the background didn't disturb you. I forgot to switch it off. You don't really need to have the fan on because this smells so good. And now we put this to the side and put it in another container. And I'm going to fry off the sausage. Now you can turn the heat up and add your sausages. And here we want a nice kind of crispy frying surface. And once you see they have a nice color, you can turn it down again to medium. We add back our onions and apples. Mix it a bit. Now it's time to season. 2 pinches of salt. Some black pepper. A little bit of apple cider vinegar. Try a piece for the seasoning. Perfect. And now we only have a flambéed left to do, but I will switch the camera angle for that so you can see the fire. So I'll see in a second. Cognac. Probably 3-4 tablespoons. And then you just burn it off. Take it off the stove when you do this so that it doesn't get sucked into the fan. And now you just let it burn off. I can show you maybe from the top camera. Yeah, it's basically burnt off now. Still burning a little bit. And then make sure to mix it through properly. And that's basically it for the topping. Now we're going to put that, I put the oven on about 50 degrees. We're going to put that in the oven to keep warm. And now it's time to remove this, get the waffle, what do you call it? Waffle maker, waffle machine. If I translate from Swedish, it's waffle iron. I don't know what, but let's set that up and let's make some waffles. Waffle maker is ready. The cognac has burned off. It's important to leave it on there a bit, even when it's not burning anymore, to get rid of that alcohol taste. Now we just put this in here to keep warm. And we need to wait for this to go green. And then we can make our first waffle. I don't know if you can see that from the top, but it's green now and smoking. Now we put in our this should make about 4. We only need 2, but the other 2, yeah, my daughter will get them for school tomorrow. And she's quite happy about that, so. Put that to the side, close it. Now every waffle maker is different, so I'm not going to tell you how I do it. Well, I will. 10 seconds and then turn around, and then you check until it's done. So now we turn it. And I'll see you when it's done. Another check. I would say we give it another minute. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed this episode and stuck with me this far, there must have been something you enjoyed. So hit that thumbs up button for me. It really helps me to reach a wider audience. And you know, what could be better than making other people happy? So if you like it, make other people happy by hitting the thumbs up. This is nice and ready now. So let's try to, it's a bit hot, but let's get them off. And as I said, we only need 2, but I will make 2 more for my daughter. But I will see you once we start plating. So see you in a little bit. So let's get this topping on. Like that. What I forgot to show you at the beginning, maple syrup. That wasn't on the ingredients board, but this is really good. So kind of drizzle a bit of maple syrup on top of the whole thing. And to finish it off, some of our chopped parsley. I promise you, you're gonna love it. Let's dig in. This is heaven. It really is quite perverse, but it's so good. And I mean, it's not low calorie, but hey, once in a while, right? There's a lot of sweetness, nice taste of the sausage, bit of acidity there from the vinegar, saltiness. This is, believe me, my daughter loves this. And kids are never wrong. But that's it for this time. A very simple dish and not difficult to make either. Yes, you need a waffle iron, but a lot of people have that nowadays. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. I always appreciate comments and feedback. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you haven't done so yet, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notifications. All that's left for me to say is oops and goodbye.